I just ate a gingerbread man. Let's do this!
My dear Miss Everdeen, make no mistake. The game is coming to its end.
We march together into the capital. To slow our advance, President Snow is building a minefield of traps. The sadistic inventions of game makers meant to make sport of our deaths.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 76th Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. Yeah, I got this poster at like a screening at Hoyt's. They're giving away posters to those people who saw the Hunger Games in the first 3 weeks. Just from the first week. I'm just going to throw 2 pictures of the ones that come up in the next 2 weeks. There they are. Alright, that's out of the way. So the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 is directed by Francis Lawrence and also stars Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson, Liam Hemsworth, and Donald Sutherland. Mockingjay Part 2, it begins basically immediately after Part 1. At the end of Part 1, you see Katniss in the neck brace looking at Peter. You forget about that she's in the neck brace because the very first shot of her is taking off the neck brace. Like, it really thrusts you into the movie, and it just kind of took me out of the movie for a second. Because I wasn't really prepared for that much. Like, I was expecting like a Deathly Hallows Part 2 where there's establishing shots and there's a few opening scenes and you get a small recap of what happened in the end of the last movie. If one thing this franchise has never disappointed me with, it's Jennifer Lawrence. And Jennifer Lawrence, once again, is fantastic as the role as Katniss Everdeen. Liam Hemsworth, his acting has gotten progressively better through the movies. And he was surprisingly good here. I was really surprised with that, and he was good, and I liked that because he actually showed a decent performance. Josh Hutcherson probably was the best person out of the whole movie, probably my highlight for the movie, because he had the most to do as a character and gave him the best role, really. He had a lot of conflicted inner demons and stuff, where he was wondering about what is real and what is not real with the Tracker Jack of Venom. I feel like I've heard real, not real before. Where have I heard that? Real, not so real, not so real, not so real, real, this is gonna be tricky, not so real, not so real, not so real. The direction for Francis Lawrence was pretty good. Most of the stuff from Part 1 stayed at about the same level from Part 1 and Part 2. The tension was handled perfectly in all the Hunger Games movies, and this one nails it even further. There's a scene which is very like Alien-esque, but the tension through that is built up so well. It's not exactly scary, but it's very well built up in tension. The script was fine. I'm assuming that Mockingjay was written as one whole movie, and then they decided, no! Split that into 2 parts, so they split it into 2 parts, which is also one of the biggest flaws in the movie. There was no development on any characters, it was just a lot of filler dialogue. So when they have these quiet, intimate moments, it's not character development, it's just them talking about random things. Another part, which I hated, it skipped my favourite part of the book, which is basically completely about character development, mostly towards Peter and Katniss. That was handled very well in the book. But here, they do some sort of, you can see that they're touching on it, but they didn't do the exact same thing. Now I'm going to start about the negatives. Julianne Moore gave my least favourite performance. She won an Oscar this year, she just seemed to be slurring out the words to me. So another big flaw about the movie is when characters died, because there's about 10 people that you got to follow through the whole movie and not making it out. Sorry, I spoiled it, but nobody had any development. Nobody. Like, you might have gotten development for some characters in previous movies, because, yeah, the previous characters from movies are in here, but no, when the characters died, you just didn't care, because there wasn't enough development, or you were too detached from the previous movies to actually give a damn. There's also another 2 reasons I have for this. A, I knew they would die, because I read the book, so I was expecting them to die. B, no development, the characters were just cannon fodder. The minute they were introduced, you're like, you're dying. You're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you might live. You're dead, you're Katniss. Also, the movie had a slow pace. It's not deathly slow. It did have some quick scenes, but it was overall a bit slow. There was no build-up in the movie whatsoever. It just kind of set you off. It's, you know when you have that windy toy and you like wind it up, wind it up, wind it up, that, and you've built it up to the max and then it just won't go any further, otherwise you break it, and it's part 1 and you just let it go and it goes berserk. That's part 2. It also had a disjointed tone from part 1. When it started, it took me out of the movie. It had a different tone to what it was in part 1. It seemed a little bit darker at times, a little bit lighthearted at times. Just, it felt like a different movie from part 1, even though it is, but it's supposed to, like, mesh together. I basically watched just part 1, part 2, because I couldn't remember everything from part 1. And I ended up enjoying it. Yes, I did enjoy it, but this is my least favourite of the Hunger Games movies, not by much. It basically is the best is part 1, second Catching Fire, then it's the first Hunger Games, and then it's Mockingjay part 2. I'm going to give the Hunger Games Mockingjay part 2 a 7 out of 10. If you like what you've seen here, leave a like down below. Have you seen the Hunger Games? Tell me which one's your favourite part of this out of the franchise. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to give it a share to this video. Don't forget to subscribe as well to become one of the Platypus. I'm on Snapchat at Platypus0015, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.